may not be able to contain it.
Why contain it? Let it spill over into the schools and churches. Let the bodies pile up in the streets. In the end, they'll beg us to save them.
I've received reports of armed attacks on shipments. There's not enough vaccine to go around, and the underclasses are starting to get desperate.
Of course they're desperate. They can smell their death, and the sound they'll make rattling their cage will serve as a warning to the rest.
I hope you're not underestimating the problem. The others may not go as quietly as you think. Intelligence indicates they're behind the problems in Paris.
A bunch of pretentious old men playing at running the world. But the world left them behind long ago. We are the future.
We have other problems.
On that go?
Formed by executive order after the terrorist strike on the statue. I have someone in place, though. I'm more concerned about Savage. He's relocated to Vandenberg.
Our biochem corpus is far in advance of theirs, as is our electronic sentience. And their ethical inflexibility has allowed us to make progress in areas they refuse to consider.
The augmentation project?
Yes, among other things. But I must admit that I've been somewhat disappointed in the performance of the primary unit.
The secondary unit should be online soon. It's currently undergoing preparation and will be operational within 6 months. My people will continue to report on its progress. If necessary, the primary will be terminated.
We've had to endure much, you and I, but soon there will be order again, a new age. Aquinas spoke of the mythical city on the hill. Soon that city will be a reality, and we will be crowned its kings.
Or better than kings, gods.
Better than kings, gods. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Midnight Show. It is August 14th, 2024. I just love that intro. I just love it. What I love most about it is that Rekieta is talking about taking over the world in a Machiavellian scheme, and he still sounds very effeminate. Just the most, like, ooh, I'm gonna take over the world. But he sounds, like, up here, okay? I love it. It's so good. I'm probably gonna watch it again at some point later on. That's how much I like it. I'm trying not... It's like a fine whiskey. You can't just down the whole bottle. I've seen what that'll do to a person. Well, I've seen what it'll do to me, but I've also seen what it'll do to little Nick Rekieta, which is apparently the horse that's just gonna keep getting beat. Dude just keeps rolling on in. Day after day, I think to myself, okay, this is probably over. We're done. This is over. But then something else comes out regarding regarding our favorite Baldo holder. So, good evening, everybody. Good to see you all. Yeah, I should have said Guns, right? And have Ralph say Guns and then have Nick say Baldo. That would have been missed opportunity, right? Anyway. Man, what a crazy year it's been, right? Try to just go along down the line. I just wanted to start with this one. Okay, yeah, this is a different overlay. Pardon me. There we go. Change the aesthetic around just a little bit, right? Now, I know this is another topic that has been beaten to the ground more than the woman that just got her face smashed in. So, even if you have to ask yourself, okay, so the ones that are like, well, it's just that she had an unfair advantage. She, right? Let's just say she. Well, she still had an unfair advantage. What the fuck difference does it make? But to see people, or rather outlets, posting what you would call it pro-domestic violence. That's the only way I can think of to describe what we're seeing here. There's like, look at this bitch take a punch to the fucking face. The audacity of this little bitch to come into that ring and take a swing at the king. And you know what she missed? She took a swing at the king and missed. I mean, fuck, these outlets should be operating for like Saudi Arabia or something, right? It really is a crazy time to be alive. I know that statement has been spoken out of my mouth many times this year. But to be fair, it started with literal rabbis coming out of manhole covers in New York City like literal rodents. Like that actually happened. Or Coach Red Pill making the news worldwide as a journalist who was captured and tortured by the Ukrainian regime. I guess that's another thing that happened this year. It's been a wild fucking time to be alive. And then with all of that in mind, here we're watching this Associated Press article on Twitter going like, fuck yeah. Well, bitch, you step into the ring, you better expect to get hit. It's like, I'd almost expect this out of like the Ralph Mail or something like that. All right. So this of course has a additional context provided to us by the Twitter ministry. The man, a 36-year-old from Italy, tested positive for COVID on July 2nd, 2022. And was diagnosed with HIV and tested positive for monkeypox on July 6th, 2022, after spending 5 days in Spain. This did not happen recently, as implied by this post. But still, there's a person with COVID, monkeypox, HIV. This seems kind of wild. Let's go ahead and... I know I keep using that word. It's unironic, I promise you.
An Italian man is believed to be the first patient diagnosed with monkeypox, COVID-19, and HIV all at the same time. Previously, it was not believed that monkeypox and COVID infections could happen simultaneously, but the man tested positive for COVID last month after returning from a trip to Spain. Well, he then went to a hospital seeking treatment for a rash, which turned out to be monkeypox. He was treated for both of those viruses and sent home to isolate. He was also placed on a combination antiretroviral therapy that he will need to take for life because of the HIV.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great ABC7 content by...
That'll be just fine, Mr. Brown. Thank you for your input. So be careful out there, chat. You never know. You'll never know what's out there. So just assume that everyone is covered in... What's the best way? They haven't been washing their hands, okay? Let's be delicate about it. They haven't been washing their hands. So it only happened in 2022, okay? But again, it's probably a good thing that, probably a good thing. It's a good thing that we're no longer in lockdown, in literal, oh my god, Black Plague mode. But there's still so little accountability for the people who flat out lied and perpetuated what appears to me to be a huge scheme to generate a bunch of revenue for the medical insurance companies and the pharmaceutical companies. Like, you can just look at the people who profited off of it, and I don't know, let's tell them to give us the money back. Are we able to pull that off? Give us some of that money back. In fact, how about we lock them up for however long it was? I lost track. We'll lock their asses up. And speaking of being locked up, what I can imagine is a form of imprisonment. The Borderlands movie. I didn't even know that this was in production. I liked the Borderlands games, all three of them. The second one was the best. I'm probably the target audience for a Borderlands movie. I would have been very, very hyped, excited. But once I saw the promotional material for it, I already knew. It might be something to watch as something that's so bad it's good. The trailer certainly is. I've already seen it, but we're going to watch it anyway. It looks like it was made by somebody who hates the franchise that wanted to make it bad on purpose. In a laughable way. Like, let's just watch them seethe and get mad, and we'll make everyone in this stupid. And we're gonna have Rowan played by Kevin Hart. They'll be so mad. Let's have Claptrap played or voiced by Jack Black. I can see the boardroom just laughing maniacally, knowing that people are going to be so fucking mad about this. Yeah, who was it? I've heard, I haven't seen this, but I remember vaguely reading somewhere. So don't quote me on this, but I believe it's Eli Roth. I forget what movies he has done. I know they're primarily horror movies, but I think it was Eli Roth that directed this. By the way, good to see everybody. So we have here Uwe Boll, who's infamous for making horrible movies. He has this to say: haha, my movies were rated R and made more money than this. Now you wish I directed. Uwe Boll would have killed Borderlands. That would have been awesome. I would have loved it. I would have been legitimately hyped for it because it would have been a win-win. Either it's good or it's a Uwe Boll shitty movie. So it would have been a lot of fun to watch. But I believe this movie made something like, $115 million budget, made $8 million opening weekend. And again, I didn't even know this was coming out. But that's when you know you fucked up. And maybe you didn't need Jamie Lee Curtis in this fucking movie. Maybe you didn't need Kevin Hart. I mean, if you're gonna throw some money out there for something like this, maybe they can get like Terry Crews, or I forget who this chick is that plays. I forget her name. Or just maybe don't spend all of the money in casting. But let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer. Already, just looking at it. Okay.
God, I hate this planet. Would you look at that? A ladder! Unfortunately, my design doesn't facilitate this type of...
Well, destiny awaits.
Legend has it that there's this massive treasure hidden in some secret.
It just seems like it would be so easy to make a movie for Borderlands and not make it look like absolute garbage. And again, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, I haven't seen the movie yet, and I don't plan to. But just looking at it from afar, it looks like a steaming pile of dog shit.
Secret vault. And if you go hunting for it, you'd better take any help you can get. Because it's on the weirdest, most dangerous dumpster fire of a...
That's one of the funny things that I found, right? They took Roland, who's a cool character. We're at low resolution, good. And they made him Kevin Hart. Why would you do this? I mean, unless you wanted to just intentionally like shit on Roland, and again, it just sounds like it was made by a group of people who were familiar with the media, and said, "All right, guys, we're gonna piss these guys off so much. We're gonna thrive off of outrage marketing. Maybe you shouldn't have invested $100 million into it." But that's just me.
World in the universe.
God, I hate this planet.
It was so funny the first time.
What is that smell?
Piss wash gully.
Ew!
Put the window up.
I don't want to! Roll the window up!
Roll it up. It's pee. It's pee. Why do you think it's called piss wash? How did it get the name?
It's in my mouth!
That was very random. That if you could put on a scale of 1 to Reddit, that would be full Reddit. That would have Reddit gold. Yeah, let's reuse that shot again. Hell yeah.
Do you know how many people have died looking for this vault?
We have something they don't, baby girl.
Some of the green screen effects you can see more obviously than the Kamala Harris rallies. It's pretty nuts.
What?
Major issues. Time to make it rain with your body parts.
Even full Redditors will look at this and go, this makes me cringe. This just hurts right in the gut.
Explosions! I said no explosions!
That's the one that gets me. And Jack Black as Claptrap. Please no. Please no. Is Jamie Lee Curtis Moxie?
Ooh, mine's bigger.
What are you doing? I needed a gun. So you asked for it.
There's only one of you in the world who just
Uh-oh.
Kill them all.
Okay, no, that was mine. I was gonna say, there's no top hat. There you go. There you have it, Chad. Oh wait, it's not done yet.
What's happening right now?
I'm expelling the excess lead. I can't go if you're looking at me. Actually, scrap that. I can. I really can. Actually, it's helping.
Are we really ready for this to finish?
Keep looking at me.
Eli Roth, yeah, okay. So there it is. Round of applause, everybody. Round of applause. Tannis, okay, that, yeah. So there you have it. The Borderlands movie out in theaters. Only available on every pirating streaming service out there, but it's also in theaters. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the Borderlands series, all of them. Even the third one. Shit. My friends and I sat there and farmed guns for hours for several months. But yeah, it's a strange time for a Borderlands movie to just come out of nowhere. Like, off of the top of the fucking cage and then miss. Close some of these tabs. It might help with the computer's memory. Alright, we'll switch back over to the Twitter overlay. And speaking of shitty CGI, we've been seeing a lot of videos about this. Now, I haven't really been paying attention to the election because who gives a shit, right? But when you see... I didn't click on you, fucking Twitter. That there is so much obvious manipulation going on. And where is the outcry now from all of the outlets, right? Remember when it was 2016, 2020, we had to hear all of the media outlets from every direction bemoan, oh my God, misinformation. And oh no, someone might say something that's inaccurate. We need to remove them from every corner of the internet possible. All of a sudden, that's pretty quiet. But then you see shit like this. And I can't speak to its authenticity. I could be a fool and this guy could be an idiot. But I've seen a lot of discussion about this. And the deafening silence from all of the media outlets. It's just been the elephant in the room that no one really seems to want to talk about. But also, like, look how bad, like, poorly this crowd is copy and pasted in front of the airplane here. Don't wish well for... Yeah, Gearbox. Most gaming companies now are total shit. I haven't played anything new in years. Like, I copy and paste shit that look as a joke that looks more convincing than this. All right, to the UK. Now, present company excluded. We all love our fellow British shitposters, right? Present company excluded. But the British are pretty fucked. Everyone's just kind of minding their own business for the most part. And outside the police headquarters, I can just imagine the captain sitting there, trying to engage with the shitposters and the trolls, the haters, just raging online about all of the people and all of the things they say. And just outside of his office, you see shit like this. Articles about shit like this going on. An immigrant worker who raped a 13-year-old girl in the UK was allowed to walk free because he didn't know rape was illegal. But post your opinion on social media. Well, okay. Funny, I don't see a community note on this one. So these literal keyboard warriors, right, are upset about mean words on the internet. We've seen this before. Legal age for marriage in Iraq will be lowered from 15 to 9. I don't know why I have that there, but just we'll throw that up there for a second while I take a sip of my coffee. Completely irrelevant, but I know it's not the UK, right? But they're bringing everybody in from every fucking place around. They're like, hey, come over here. We'll host everybody's good time. I'm not sure if that would have been safe for YouTube. Apparently, ignorance of the law is a valid excuse. Yeah, can you imagine? I guess that's how Rekieta's playing it, right? I didn't know. Solid case. Everyone should just go with that then. And welcome into the people who are just now getting here. So here we have the more relevant news story, right? This has been circulating social media, has been sweeping the nation, sweeping the internet. I love how... what I love the most is the guy they got to come out and talk like a tough guy at the internet. They didn't find some, 8-foot tall, solid brick muscle dude to come out and be like, I'm a cum if I don't even know how to do a British accent because I just give that less of a fuck. I find their nation that noteworthy. But they found this guy. They opened up a locker and just pulled him out. And they're like, oh man, how long have you been in there? Since high school. Sounds good. We're gonna make you police captain. But we need you to come out and address the haters on the internet. He looks like Soyjack's brother. U.S. Police Commission. I can't even looking at him while I'm reading the news is making me laugh. I'm gonna have to put my hand over his head while I read this. UK Police Commissioner threatens to extradite jailed U.S. citizens over online posts. Quote, "We'll come after you. We'll come after you, chat." That's what he says. Oh no, he's got the fucking Ralph Amel syndrome right now. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck that everyone says we're a bunch of cucks. So of course, present company excluded, right? All of y'all who are here, you're cool. What a joke, right? So I have here It's always midnight somewhere, my man. We have this video clip. Let's go ahead and give it a listen.
British authorities are threatening to hold Americans accountable for online activity the British police blame for stoking violent riots happening on their streets. Here's National...
I'm going to play that again. I don't know. It sounds like she was a bit condescending.
British authorities are threatening to hold Americans accountable for...
It's just me.
Online activity the British police blame for stoking violent riots happening on their streets. Here's national correspondent Kayla Gaskins.
Uh-oh.
The worst riots the United Kingdom has seen in years.
Yeah, even NBC Montana was like, yeah, there's a bunch of fucking riots going on, though. You guys want to take care of that?
Fueled by false information spread online.
Oh,
Rumors claiming a Muslim asylum seeker is the one responsible for a mass stabbing that left 3 children dead and several more injured at a Taylor Swift-themed event. The suspect, however, is a 17-year-old UK.
You have to appreciate the level of attempted bullshit, though. I was about to give these guys a little credit, and then no. It's the misinformation that's causing the violence. You don't think that there might be some friction? That maybe this was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak? I don't know. Could just be me.
UK citizen, born in Wales, to Rwandan parents. The head of police now threatening extradition and jail time to U.S. citizens for online posts allegedly egging on the violence from afar.
If you're a keyboard warrior, you're not safe from the law if you incite violence.
Giving this response when a Sky News reporter asked about the controversial comments made by the riots on X by Elon Musk.
This is Elon's fault.
We will throw the full force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
There it is. Okay, so I don't know about you. I know about a lot of crazy people here. A lot of people who are just begging for something like this to happen. People waiting their whole lives. There are weapons everywhere. And schizos just crawling out of crevices. There's crazy people looking for a fight everywhere. As far as the eye can see. So for y'all's sake, I really hope they don't do something foolish like this. It's going to be a bad day to be the people who they send to do that.
Authorities have already arrested their own citizens for online activity. For example, a 55-year-old woman was arrested for publishing written material to stir up racial hatred and false communication. 2 other British men also arrested.
That's the thing. So you could... A keyboard's pretty sturdy. I know... Just saying.
Media posts. The Prime Minister sending this warning.
I guarantee
full
you will regret
digital Tyler Durden with this damn thing.
Directly,
hypothetically, in Minecraft.
We spoke with Aaron Turr with the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression.
The government absolutely should arrest and prosecute anyone engaged in political violence.
Yeah,
but in times of unrest, government...
That's the thing I was going to mention. This, Brandon was saying, I've been tagging Metro UK police every chance I get. Come and get me. You and a lot of other people, too. The worst thing you could say to a bunch of people is something ridiculous. Like, oh yeah, well, our laws apply to you too. No, they don't. There is this little thing called the Revolutionary War, I believe. You guys are more than welcome to come try again. I think a lot of people have that yearning inside to just start blowing shit up, and you giving them the opportunity would be a blessing in disguise. There are a lot of people who need to get out a lot of aggression. This will give Americans a chance to vent.
Governments have a tendency to overreach and to undermine civil liberties like freedom of speech in the name of public safety.
UK laws surrounding free speech are different than those here in the US. And while it's not impossible, it's highly unlikely British authorities will go after US-based social media posters like Elon Musk for
Let's rewind that.
Impossible, it's highly unlikely British authorities. UK laws surrounding free speech are different than those here in the US. And while
Okay, so they're different than they are in the US. And from that, let's continue.
it's not impossible, it's highly unlikely British authorities will go after...
While it's not impossible, it's highly unlikely.
US-based social media posters like Elon Musk for violating British laws in an online space.
And that's when it goes batshit insane. And then we're going to come after Elon Musk. Not anybody else, just Elon Musk. The guy with enough money to defend himself. Of course. You're just gonna go after one person, I'm sure. The rest of us are safe. The pause game tonight, though. Look at that chick. All right. So where should we go from here? You know what? Here's a good icebreaker. We're 30 minutes in. So I've been following the Nick Rekieta shit pretty closely. I just can't help it. It's so enthralling. It's better than television. And just when you think it's over, something else comes out. So I got another shitpost here. It's only about 50 seconds long. I'll go ahead and play it.
I am Baldo, a cuckold whose 8-year-old daughter tested positive for cocaine. Despite having a woman on each arm, I am often mistaken for a homosexual. Josh Moon ignores my messages, leaving me to navigate this dark reality alone. The burden of shame weighs heavy on my soul. The internet, lowercase, Josh, is one of my only escapes from this bitter world. And I just wanted you to know, as my friend, that it's not true. Everything that has been documented and archived is false, and there is a vast conspiracy against me. One day, I'll get to tell my story. Until then, I'll just have to keep wearing the Baldo and letting Kayla veg out on the couch while April does rail after rail of all of my cocaine. I hope you're happy, Josh.
I hope you're happy, Josh. Was it worth it, Josh? You lost a real friend, a bro. You could have worn the Baldo, Josh. He would have let you wear the Baldo, Josh. I've been loving the memes. Everything coming out from the fall from grace of Nick Rekieta has just been nothing short of beautiful. Yeah. So what was even the more recent thing? Should we jump into the Rekieta shit? So how the intro even came to be? Those of you who saw the Deus Ex parody video of Nick and Ralph, came from me trying to make a voice AI cover of Nick and Ralph. So
y'all know me.
Okay, it's a little too loud. I'm going to change that a bit.
Still the same outfit I've been low-key hated on by most of these niggas with no keys, no deals, and no G's, no wheels, and no keys, no boats. No snowmobiles and no schismat me, because I can finally afford to buy my family's grocery stock at crib with a studio. And it's all full of tracks, though. Add to the wall full of plaques hanging up in the office, and back to my house, like trophies did. Y'all think I'ma let my dough freeze? Oh, please, you better bow down on both knees. You think taught you to smoke trees.
Anyway, just how cracked out he looks, it makes me laugh every time I see him. I can't deny how much amusement I get out of it. Oh, okay. Rekieta. You could have worn the Baldo, Josh. I want you to know, as my friend, I would have let you wear the Baldo. I'm excited. We got a Rekieta stream, which means we might have a new, interesting new matter of public record. I guess we're all we had else left to talk about was this Time article featuring everybody's favorite Prime Minister, Mr. Netanyahu. Just wanted to put that on screen for a second to pay respects to a great man. I could think of a man to compare him to that also was featured as Time's Man of the Year. His name escapes me. I hear he does really good covers of songs these days, though. We had that, and NYPD officer absolutely demolishes a repeat offender. We'll go ahead and let this play. Bad boys, what you want? Oh, geez, that's really loud. Truly the FDR of our time. Let's hope he totally encapsulates the role of being the FDR of our time. I think that what is so bad for that person getting arrested, yeah, he's getting arrested, but he has people pointing and laughing as his pants are at his ankles. Going, ah, look at him, ah! And he totally deserves it. But that's going to traumatize that fellow. Why are his pants down? Well, I guess this is just how they do things in the hood. This is proper protocol, sir. Just getting him prepared for his future. Damn, that last punch was so brutal. Like, dude, he's already out. He's out, and he's like, I'm getting one more in. I'm gonna get him one more time. Pants down, pants up, don't loot. I told you, he says. I told you. I told you, nigga. Rip that man's self-respect. Or self-esteem. He's never gonna live that one down. This guy, though, I can't get over this. He looks like a live streamer who would be angry at chat. Screaming like, no, I don't look like a little bitch. I am in fact not a cuck. I can't get over the fact that out of the entire nation they couldn't find one person that looked like he had a Y chromosome, a XY chromosome. That's a current topic, right? iDubbbz in the future, for sure. When we learn that the actions have consequences. Well, unless you come to our nation and hurt our people. That's okay. Then we're gonna give you free fucking rent. We support you then. Yeah, right. Sends plans to order his officers to their deaths. Right? Is he gonna be on the front line? Who's the real keyboard warrior here, buddy? We also have... hey, bros. You know where we're going to party tonight? 7-Eleven. We're going to grab some booze at 7-Eleven, and we're going to get fucking drunk at 7-Eleven. I never thought that this would be a place that would come out, and maybe they're just so desperate for customers that they're... No, dudes, come over. Maybe they're going to set up a lounge. 7-Eleven will be the new place where you could just hang out, buy a coffee, and just be there all day, but you could do it with booze now. Like, imagine a Starbucks or a coffee shop where you can just come by and get completely fucking wasted. So I don't know about you guys. I would love, if I was still drinking, the party would be at 7-Eleven tonight. It's like rock and roll McDonald's, bro. Fuck yeah. I always liked Jesus is the answer with the Wesley Willis fiasco. That's a good one. That was a good hit, though. I mean, you got to give the credit where it's due. Torching the White. I mean, Nice shot, is all I'm saying. Yeah, if they have fresh chili dogs, like, we might be talking. Like, maybe I'll start drinking again and just go hang out at 7-Eleven. They really want Jay and Silent Bob IRL. Nah, man. Unironically, Wesley Willis is like a music legend. Talk about a dude who takes lemons and makes lemonade. Yeah, he says, I don't give a fuck if I'm mentally handicapped or it might be a bit strange. I'm going to take what I do and run with it. So much respect for somebody that where they wear their, let's call it a quirk. They wear their quirk on their sleeves and just go through life confident. You gotta have respect for that. All right, just gonna take a second here. So yeah, what brings up the topic, pardon me, of the Nick Rekieta case? Well, it appears as though there have been articles coming out tacitly advocating for the release of the camera footage, for the body cam footage, that we're all like salivating like angry dogs waiting for this fucking body cam footage. And it's for one reason and one reason only. I think a lot of people feel the same way I do. It's not to like get a layout of his house like he implies or something weird like that. No, we just want to see how much of a fucking disgusting loser he is. To see how bad his house really looks. The average person can at least, like, maybe things might be a little cluttered, a few things that are sitting there, it doesn't really belong there. But we just want to see this dude's disgusting fucking house and how poorly he maintains his living space. And if it actually happens, I've been really pessimistic about it. But it's like I keep getting teased. Like, more, hey, remember the body cam footage? Okay, I'm over it. Stop it. No, you still want to see it. I'm over it. Stop it. And then an article like this comes out. Kiwi Farms founder argues for camera in courtroom for Nick Rekieta's case. Minneapolis Fox 9. So they reference this article here. This was the original article. Kiwi Farms founder argues for camera in courtroom for Nick Rekieta's case. Minneapolis Fox 9. The founder for stalking website Kiwi Farms. How does a fucking website stalk a person? I'm sure I'm not the first person who thought that reading this. Stalking website? It's a website. It has no body. How does it stalk somebody? I could expand on that, but I think that basically says it, right? Stalking website Kiwi Farms filed motions last week asking a judge to broadcast future criminal proceedings against very popular YouTube attorney Nick Rekieta. Well, I don't know that he's actually... Is he an attorney still? I thought he's non-practicing. I forget. I need to read a little more closely, chat. I'm a little behind on my Baldo lore. What do we know? An attorney for Joshua Moon, who goes online by the username Null, filed several documents last week fighting for hearings and the trial against Rekieta to be streamed. In the filings, Moon's attorney argued there is a lot of online interest in the case and pointed to the fact that Rekieta has been making a living analyzing trial live streams. That there is a lot of interest in this case. There's a ton. More importantly, there's genuine interest in the camera footage because it would establish the character that a person is portraying themselves as, right? He's saying, I am this type of person. I would never abuse I would never have such a horrible living space that I'm being described as having in these court documents. I'm also going to fight against the body cam footage that would prove everybody wrong. And I understand his argument. I understand the idea of, look, I'm not showing anybody my fucking house. You guys can suck a dick. Eat a cock, Josh. It would be as simple as that for me. It would be as simple as saying, look, I feel that it would be invasive for the privacy that I hold important to me and my loved ones. So whatever happens, happens. If it's out of my hands, it's out of my hands. But do you want me to sign something? No, fuck that. Eat a dick. However, what was so amusing about the Hello Josh stream, which I forget the name of the person in the comments that said this should be called the Hello Josh stream. And I was like, damn it, missed opportunity. I'm going to fix it right away. So good call, buddy. But he was so indirect. He danced around saying that. He more or less said, no, I'm not going to do it. Fuck off. But wouldn't say it directly. And he said it over the course of 3 hours, seething over his DMs that he decided to show everybody. Which, again, was one of those things that keeps bringing us back in. We keep thinking we're done. And then something else keeps bringing us back in. And as the article points out, Rekieta has made a living analyzing trial live streams. If he was still doing the things he was doing, he would be covering this case 100%. This is a gold mine for everyone that does something like what Rekieta used to do. I'm curious what this new live stream is going to be. We're going to have to take a look. What is he even doing these days? I wonder what chat looks like over there. Rekieta said last week during a stream on his YouTube channel that Moon has also pushed for the release of other documents and body cam video of the arrest. Man, I can tell, I can bet you there's an interesting matter of public record. Ooh, I'm excited to conclude the live stream so I can go sit down, have a cup of coffee, and catch up with the thread. Because I know it's jumped like 20 pages now. Who is Nick Rekieta? Oh, no, I'm jumping. What is Rekieta charged with? Rekieta and his wife, Kayla, Excuse me. Who wrote this? Oh, Fox 9 staff, so an AI probably. I demand a retraction. I demand that they change this. Not just for misinformation, but by just for the sake of basic human decency, empathy. His wife? How fucking dare you, Fox 9? That's our wife, okay? Our wife, Kayla. That's spelled with a Q-U, I'll have you know. Fucking audacity, man. Just when you think you've seen it all. Rekieta and our wife, Kayla, were arrested in May on drug charges at their home in Spicer, Minnesota. During a search of Rekieta's home, officers said they found drugs that tested positive for cocaine and ketamine, along with drug paraphernalia. Rekieta and his wife were charged with second-degree drug possession, child endangerment, and a gross misdemeanor firearm charge. Who is Nick Rekieta? Okay, we only got a little bit more here. Rekieta is an attorney who owns a law firm in Spicer, Minnesota. He's also non-practicing, from what I understand, from what I've read online. It was called The Cover, Quover, I believe. In recent years, Rekieta has grown a following online, offering a legal perspective while streaming high-profile trials like Kyle Rittenhouse's case and Johnny Depp's lawsuit against Amber Heard. Rekieta has more than 430,000 subscribers on YouTube and more than 150,000 followers on Twitter. What is Rekieta saying about this arrest? After taking a month-long break from streaming, Rekieta returned to YouTube in mid-June. During his return stream, Rekieta briefly and vaguely addressed the case against him. I am under the thumb of government at the moment, Rekieta said of the case, which means government gets to say whatever they want to say about me and I don't get to respond. And that's the expletive place to be. I can only imagine that he dropped the N-word and the N-bomb. During the stream, Rekieta made it clear that he would fight the case out in the court of law and not on YouTube. He's made that abundantly clear, hasn't he, chat? an accusation from government is not a conviction. The public eye is something entirely different, though. They're 100% opposite. They're not mutually... I was going to say not mutually exclusive, but I think I might be using that wrong. The court of public opinion, people can see things that happen, and they can be perceived however they happen, right? I'm sure everyone here knows what I'm talking about, but for the sake of somebody like Nick Rekieta, who likes to hide behind moronic shit like this, I don't have to get court evidence to think you're a bitch, Baldo. Like, we all know you're a cuck. We all can hear your voice and go, wow, that guy sounds effeminate. Like that video was playing earlier, despite having 2 girls. He has a girl on each arm, a woman on each arm. And he still looks like a homosexual. He still people see him and go, oh, that must be, the 2 girls hanging out with their gay friend. Hold on, texting Lady Wild. There we go. Like, I don't have to get evidence. I don't have to find somebody that is willing to testify in the court of law that this dude's a bitch. We can all tell, bro. Sorry, I was... Sorry, I haven't actually read chat for a minute. I can see there's a little bit of back and forth. Caleb Lambret says, I want to say fuck Britain and fuck British people. You're welcome, buddy. Put that on megaphone. Speaking last week, Rekieta says he has submitted to and passed drug tests since his arrest. I almost thought it said passed out on drugs. My brain wanted to just complete the rest of that sentence with what's obviously before us. I want you to know, as my friend, that you could wear the Baldo. You could wear the Baldo, Josh. I have a few news stories that we could take a look at. There's a New Zealand charity accidentally handed out meth in the form of candy. Happy Halloween, everybody. New Zealand charity unknowingly gives out sweets with lethal doses of meth. We have like 4 other things that we could take a look at. But I'm just going to be real with you, chat. I want to see what Baldo has up his sleeve.
That's, that's the rule. The rule of cool, man. Rule of cool is that if you should not do it, it's probably because it's cool.
Louis C.K. found out the hard way. He was like, hey, does anybody mind if I'm just going to help myself over in the corner over here? And everyone said, I guess? It wasn't acceptable, but it was cool. Right? Right, Nick? This guy in his avatar with him having a cigar. Just drink it in, chat. Drink it in. Where are we at? We're almost at an hour. Well, you know, that'll be a good way of segueing into it. Okay. All right. Bear with me. Just a second. I'm going to bring up his Rumble stream. Oh, God. First thing in his chat says crooked cops. So you know we're off to a fantastic start. Okay, is he not live? Oh, is it a local stream? It's from 22 minutes ago. We're talking crooked cops, more crooked cops, and crooked corpos. Disney being douchebags. Should be a fun show. Okay, here we are. This is it on YouTube. Live in 79 minutes. So I'll probably be offline by then. Disappointing. Yeah, I am rather pessimistic about the body cam footage coming out. It's just too much of a... it would be too funny. We are not so lucky. You know you've lost the plot when the normies are rising up. Ain't that the truth, man? When normal-ass people are stopping and go, hey, did you hear about this? This is going to be funny when it just blows up. Yeah, what's that old saying? Hope for the best, but expect the worst. I'm just going to assume that it's not coming out. I, of course, didn't donate a single fucking dollar for it, so I don't give a fuck. I mean, disappointed, sure, but imagine how funny it would be to see the exact look on their face the moment the police show up. Like, I don't know which adult is going to be the first one, because that's whose face I want to see. The expression on their face when they go, oh, shit. Shit just went south. Like, that's... Alright, so I guess we'll just take a look at Rekieta's Twitter replies. This is how we got to thinking that the live stream was about to happen. Oh man, I bet there's a new matter of public record. Ooh. Itchy finger, chat. Itchy finger. So he's been responding to people on Twitter regarding Sean, his friend Sean. Another person he just wants to know. You, Sean, as his friend, he just wants you to know. LeBonky Bear says, at LawTube Sean, I'm watching you talk about Nick's issue with his attorneys not returning his calls and leaving him out in the cold without an advocate. Now imagine how his lawyers know he's a druggie and how bad of a parent he is, etc. I have a question. Sean responds, my whole point about Nick's critique is that he admits he has no experience in this area. He has relatively no experience in a courtroom, and that his logic is going to be clouded due to his emotional involvement or investment. That's why his attorney was there. They can think clearly, and he cannot. He responds epically, yeah, I'm familiar with the rules of evidence, Sean. Amazingly, my attorney was not. She did not know the rule of completeness even existed. No, I'm not kidding. She had numerous hearsay objections, surprise, and other legal avenues, such as a continuance, etc. She had no thoughts. You don't know the situation at all because it isn't shaped like a sandwich. Oh, got him, man. You're fat. And then he's obviously seeing, like, you can make a you're fat joke. But you can't look like you're upset while you do it. Sean is a practicing lawyer who isn't up on a felony or has an ongoing CPS situation. He also doesn't have debt collectors after him. Sean is a practicing lawyer. Spelt wrong, okay. In a different jurisdiction with different rules, talking about a practice area that is not his main expertise. And the funny thing about that in particular is, what does that say about your own commentary? Since the beginning of your YouTube career. For let's just go ahead and use the word career. So your perspective should have been only specific to Minnesota law then, right? So we got to see this nice little seethe session. I almost had the Nick AI read all of these tweets with them on screen. It would have been a little bit of a pain in the ass. So I decided not to do that. Instead, we got the Deus Ex intro with him and Ralph. Which I think is, not to pat myself on the ass too much, but that... chef's kiss. Having Nick, or hearing Nick in his effeminate ass voice a Machiavellian plot to take over the world, it's funny as hell to me. Oh yes, and this person speaks to Nick. Oh yes, please keep talking. We love interesting matters of public record. That we do. That we do. You are barely even literate. You probably have to run tweets through a speak and spell. I've never heard that phrase before, a speak and spell. A lot of people use their phones. It automatically has autocorrect and things like that. In fact, it autocorrects when I don't have a mistake more often than it corrects a genuine mistake. It's really annoying. Does that even make sense? This is LeBonky Bear, the original poster. Does that make sense, or am I missing something? It seems that if you're making your lawyer's job harder, then your lawyer would just quit. Or does the lawyer just not care if Nick is apparently making himself look bad, as most of you guys are saying? The thing you're missing is that the lawyer representing me at the hearing is a walking malpractice factory. Why do you think the county loves having her appointed in virtually every child protection case? This is the tweet right here. This is the one. Why this is even being discussed. Why we even have more Nick AI shit going on right now. This is a really stupid fucking thing to tweet out right now. Why would you, when there is so much interest in obtaining the body cam footage out there, and you desperately don't want people to have it, why would you imply that they're needing to be in a position where they have to show full transparency? Where they might, I don't know, feel compelled to drop the fucking body cam footage, you absolute mongoloid. I mean, this is great for everyone who's waiting for the fucking body cam footage. Like, have it, unironically, Nick, have yourself a drink, buddy. You earned it. This dude just keeps delivering Kino package, special delivery after Kino package. It's something else. I know that was phrased incredibly poorly, but you know what I mean. This right here, it directly implies that the county has some sort of conspiracy against him active. Why do you think that the county, like anybody on the internet, is just gonna randomly know that their county has a reputation of being dirty and crooked? No, you keep implying it, but you don't show any direct evidence of that, Nick. Oddly enough, you know, a lot of the people who've been shitting on you over the past 4 fucking months, they all have evidence of you making an ass out of yourself on a public space. Everyone who's been laughing at you, calling you Baldo and a cuck. There's a ton of shit to pull from regarding that. Do you have one thing that backs up this idea that the county has a conspiracy against you? And if you do, you should probably keep that to your fucking self. As much as it might matter to Nick what the people perceive him as, the damage to his public persona is done. It's over. You can no longer go back to the Nick Rekieta that you were 2 years ago or a year ago. You should have pulled up, bro. You should have pulled up, quite frankly. I mean, shit, cocaine's a hell of a drug. But so is alcohol, guys. Like, let this be a lesson for everybody. Learn from this asshole's mistakes. I mean, I like to think I learned a little bit by looking at this guy and going, man, alcohol really fuck you up. I think I'm good permanently. I'm good. I already know I have a tendency to overdo it. But seeing that made me seriously consider indulging it all. Like, look at how much somebody could have going for them and then just throw it all away so they can lick the bottle. That's another thing. He licked the fucking bottle. Who does that? Who the fuck does that? So yeah, I just found this. This was one of those things where I was catching up over my morning coffee. Just sitting there drinking coffee, looking at my phone. I forget what my woman was watching. Some bullshit on TV that was just background noise. And then I see this tweet on my Twitter feed. And it only has like 543 views. Not a lot of people have seen this, but you could bet your ass that the A-logs and the trolls, the haters, I mean, you can see in the comments already. Breaking Baldo news. At Rekieta. Like, what's worse, Nick? All of the shit people say about you on the internet, or having nearly an ounce of cocaine in your house? That reminds me, I saw a video of, what's his name? EVS, Ethan Van Sciver. He was the guy that was saying that the kids should have been stepping up and doing laundry. Hey, she was taking his cocaine, she should have been cooking for the whole household. It was one of those times where I saw something that genuinely made me sick. Like, fuck you, man. Like, I know this is internet shit, but that got me genuinely mad at the internet for a second. In an attempt to nose guard for your friend who is embroiled into a huge internet controversy at the moment, you thought you would shift the blame onto the fucking kids? That were under, like, most of them, as far as I know, I would say some of them, there we go, some of them under the age of fucking 10. Well, they should have, jumped past the orgies and the people doing lines. Orgies, excuse me, let's be, again, I need to catch myself, I'm being hyperbolic here. It was only a foursome. So, jump past the foursome and do their own laundry. Rekieta had more important things to do. Like watch Aaron bang our wife. Fucking bastard, should have brought an end to that shit. I didn't hear anyone ask for our permission, Nick. What absolute horseshit, dude. She made those vows. And now we're looking like a fucking fool. Anyway, I saw this clip here. And now the,
did you completely memory hold the Rekieta?
Okay, yeah, right. Gotta switch over the crop. Careful out there, guys, because implying that victims of child neglect should be out there taking care of their own household as if they're an irresponsible, horny teenager that has had 4 kids before they turned 18 or something. Nah, an 8-year-old can do all the laundry and clean up and, feed themselves. Not that it's a good thing, but there's a large portion of the population that can't even do that, that are adults. As sad as that is to point out. But what I found most amusing, they're all of these Baldo guards are starting to feel the wind shifting in direction, right? They can feel it. Oh no, this is really bad. I might look really poor. And instead of coming out and saying, man, fuck this guy. Fuck him. This dude can eat a dick. Instead, they have to kind of slowly walk it back and go, well, guys, I'm not going to walk back what I said about those kids being neglected and having to clean up the house. But Nick, I can't stand for you being a cuck. There's a line willing to draw in the sand, and it's right there. How dare you be... Let's just go ahead and watch this shit.
Rekieta null trash, says Jose M. Rekieta null trash. I was watching that today. Rekieta versus null. I don't know if I want to get into the Rekieta stuff too much. Do I want to talk about Nick Rekieta and my feelings about Nick Rekieta's situation? Is that something I want to do? I'm watching other people do it. I'm kind of interested in it. But do I want to talk about it? Like, am I going to moralize about Nick Rekieta? Do I want to get involved in the idea of Kiwi Farms and Josh Moon?
There's the seed planted right there. Eventually, the DMs are going to be starting to come flying out, I bet. I liked this comment. EVS is Ralph, but can't holler. Oh, man. The alpha male. Wherever he's at. God damn, I hope he's still fucking hollering. The last I saw of Ethan Ralph, he was dancing, shaking his tits to tips, screaming, no, what was it? Tax free. That was it. Josh Moon, I hope, as my friend, none of that is true.
And their attitude about Nick Rekieta, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't seem like. See, the thing that when I talk about people, I'm talking about people who are criticizing the entertainment industry. You understand? It's not just normal trash. It's, Eric July. It's the griftosphere, which Rekieta kind of touched on a little bit. He was there a little bit, but mostly he's LawTube, which is something that we never really engaged in too much. When Nick Rekieta was on this show, we talked about comic books.
I totally agree, by the way, Sean. I just can't get enough. It's like when you have a craving and when you eat ice cream every day, I have to have this every day. Or if you're, sometimes overplay music. I overplay a lot of music. I'll listen to the same song in a day like 5 times. I just can't help myself.
We talk about. When I was on his show, I would mostly talk about comics and occasionally politics. So Nick Rekieta's scenario, while it is interesting, isn't like a good fit for what we talk about on Trashcast, because it has nothing to do with the entertainment sphere. Having said that, yeah, I'm watching the back and forth with him. I see Nick Rekieta as a friend, and I'm happy that he's got his kids back. And I'm watching. He's got about 40% of my attention in terms of the back and forth between his enemies and him. What's true, what's not true.
I have to go back. I'm sorry. Apologies.
What's true, what's not true.
I just wanted to hear that again.
But I've said over and over
almost,
again,
and it's
one
not
thing
true.
I really don't get, I do not understand, I don't understand, and I don't understand sharing your wife.
Here we are. Here's the clip I wanted to get to. Look, I can understand neglecting your fucking kids, have them smelling and hungry, walking out with the cop, with their hand holding hands with the cop as they say they're hungry. I can understand having the dude fucking our wife, making food after the kids begged, after they knocked on the door and said, please, can you fucking feed us? God damn it. I can understand that. But having someone fuck your wife? That's where I draw the line.
I will never understand that. The drugs and alcohol, yeah, like I could see myself throwing some variant of my life away on drugs and alcohol. I could picture that. It sounds like fun. Not my main life. If I had like 8 lives to live, I'd throw one of them away on drugs and alcohol. It seems like a good time for a little while.
It's been working very well for Nick.
But yeah, the sharing your wife thing, man. Not to judge people, but I gotta judge that. I don't get it. I don't understand cuckery. I don't understand why you would do that. I don't get it.
Like, look at his outrage. He's outraged about the dude sharing his wife. More, like, at all. Is kind of funny. Because this proves, again, that he has emotional investment in Kayla as well. She is our wife, after all. It's like, I can't believe he shared our wife. He didn't even ask me. But when it comes to the kids getting neglected, not being fed, wearing dirty clothes, having to live around a polycule, he's just like, yeah, whatever, but you really let Aaron fuck our wife, dude? That's where I draw the line.
Fucking don't understand. And when I say this,
I
my
just don't
comment
understand,
section
he says.
was filled with people who said every woman has a past, Ethan. Yeah, that's different. You know, what my girlfriend or my wife did before we got involved that's none of my business. That comes along. If you want to marry a virgin, go ahead and do that. But when you're with her and you have intimacy and a connection, I do not understand these guys who want to let other men fuck their wives. I don't get it. They get off on it, have a deal, polyamorous relationship. I don't get it. I understand the idea of, and this is the thing about being a man. I've said this to you guys before.
I'll say this. There's something about a rage that like builds in you. Maybe it's a guy thing. There was once in my past, like a previous relationship, where I thought for a minute she was talking to somebody, and that feeling of, I want to destroy this guy. Like, I can't imagine there being anything else. Like, I see what he's trying to say here, but it's weird to kind of, after having said on public record, yeah, the kids neglect and whatever, but you really let Aaron fuck our wife like that? Our wife deserves better, absolutely.
The benefit of you getting to bang other women does not make up for, in the least, it does not make up for the penalty of other men getting to bang your wife. I get to bang all these other chicks. It doesn't matter. You could bang 50 chicks, and one guy banging your wife destroys all of the clout that comes from that. It really does. You're a cuck. You immediately become a cuckold. And there are people who dig that. I guess they get off on the idea of cuckoldry.
And as the AI of Nick said earlier, despite having a woman on each arm, he's often mistaken for a homosexual. He looks like their gay friend.
Do not and will never understand that. So the Rekieta stuff, as far as the drugs and all that stuff, and having drugs around your kids, is just it is that's its own thing. But I do understand.
I didn't edit this.
I do understand.
This is something I would have somebody say with an AI. This is something I would make somebody say as a joke. Like, oh, I can't imagine somebody would say something this fucking ridiculous because of like how bad the optics are saying it as a public personality. And he goes, fuck it, I'm gonna jump for it. I can't believe this guy, he couldn't contain his outrage. He's like, yeah, whatever, starving kids, drugs, 9-year-old, 8-year-old, whatever, turning up positive for coke, but Aaron?
And like drinking to excess, understand that with the cocker.
Yeah,
man,
he uploaded this too, so it wasn't even live stream. Like said, accidentally. This was recorded. Oh, for fuck's sake!
I just find it to be like
it's a bridge too far.
Oh, you think about like another man touching your wife, man. I seriously, there are few things that would make me kill someone, but that might do it. Oh fuck, man. It's just.
See, right there, you can see the outrage he has. Like, I can't believe, dude. She could have done better than Aaron. That's what he's thinking right now. He's thinking, should have been me, Nick. It should have been any of us. No one got information or any sort of... I didn't see a permission slip. I wasn't asked to sign a permission slip. Like, Nick is fucking grounded, okay? Like, I'm throwing this out there right now. Nick, you're fucking grounded. No more internet. How absolutely shameful. Making your family look like this on a public level. So where is the did I? All right, I did close the tab, chat. Be just a second here. We're at 9:15, so I got another hour. What do you think, chat? I got 54 minutes before this shit show goes off. With no doubt, it's going to be chaos. No doubt there's something going on. We're going to have some new juicy tidbits, memes, screenshots of Nick to work into shitpost videos. More AI raps. Exactly, Danny. That's what EVS was thinking to himself watching. He's like, it could have been me. That should have been me. I could have been cooking those SpaghettiOs. I still can't believe you just come out and be like, yeah, I can't believe doing the drugs and neglecting kids. I get that. It's whatever, but you got cocked, really? Search Baldo song. I have a few. I have the second half of Forgot About Dre with Ralph, where he does Eminem. That one's amusing. What Locals does to a motherfucker.
This is the Baldo. And this number, this is Drexel, this is unused. This number, you gotta
remember to shave your balls.
Alright, it's 2 minutes long and my attention span isn't that long. Yeah, I forget who said it, but I remember reading somewhere that Rekieta, their household is so black that even the carpet's black. Has been blacked. How about this? Just a couple cans of SpaghettiOs. I think this is my favorite one. Lock me up. Nick loves BBC.
Lock me up, Judge. Throw away the key cause ain't no place I'd rather be, if you know what I mean, you see. Black men in the yard, that's my fantasy come true, yeah. Prison ain't a sentence. Prison ain't a sentence. It's a dream come true for me and you, boo. But hey, at least I got one thing going right, black man. Yeah, they set my soul a light chocolate skin.
So we know this is a win-win for Nick, right? Win-win. He goes free. He gets to go back to the crack den, and everything will be peachy. Kayla will be passed out on the fucking couch. April will be just doing rails. And life will go back to normal. Or Nick's gonna have unlimited amount of BBC. He's gonna be in heaven. Normally he would have to pay somebody for this type of action. But he's just gonna get passed around like a open can of SpaghettiOs in the Rekieta household. Oh man, who are these people? Oh man, how do I give you a concise summary of Nick Rekieta and the people from the sector? So I find myself entertained by some of these personalities across the internet that overshare their life, and when details about their life that paints them in a negative light come out, they react in such a way that makes it much, much worse every time. So instead of watching television or movies, I just, at a distance, I don't even chat most of the time. I just sit back and watch the fire. Just watch these people completely destroy their lives over a very long period of time. This particular person is Nick Rekieta. Nick Rekieta was a YouTube lawyer. He pretty much started the trend. I don't know if he was the first, but he was definitely one of the more popular personalities that would come out and give the perspective of a practicing, quote-unquote, or I should say non-practicing lawyer, as they say, but the perspective of a lawyer on some of these current events that were coming out. And he got very popular for a while. I want to say one of the years he was the highest Super Chat earner. This dude made a ton of money from this. And over the course of a couple of years, he goes from having the image of a nice, conservative Christian dad that works real hard, has a law firm, but now he's known as the Baldo, a cuck, a man who neglected his kids. One of his kids turned up positive. They were 9 years old. They turned up positive for cocaine. Like, they've turned up very positive for cocaine. So much so that the test couldn't pick up any more additional cocaine. Like, it maxed out. As far as I understand it, it's 10 times the cutoff. Maybe that's not what that means, but I digress. Either way, his 9-year-old daughter turned up positive for cocaine. And then what happened was he had a live stream where he had another one where he had gotten blackout drunk. This one was called the Coke Stream. And in this live stream, he is visibly blackout drunk, trying to operate his PC. It looks like there's somebody giving him head at one point. A lot of people thought at first that he was just that he was jerking off. At one point, he goes off camera and comes back, and there is a white powder on his nose. And wouldn't you know it, the following day, the police raided his house. And in this raid, they found 25 grams of cocaine. Now, Nick refuses to acknowledge that it's his cocaine, that he does cocaine, that it's even cocaine that they found. And if it was, he didn't put it there. Like, some of the real classic excuses, right? Oh man, just if you get caught with it, just, drop it on the ground, say it didn't belong to you. It's found in his house. And what was found out was that he had been reported weeks prior to this by mandatory reporters, people who, when they see, they have a legal obligation that when they see abuse to report it. 2 different people, one person I believe was the mother's sister, and I'm not sure if it's confirmed or just speculated, but I want to say it's confirmed, that the children's aunt and the pastor at the church that they went to had reported that the children were malnourished, that they had been wearing dirty clothes and appeared to be not taken care of. On top of that, Nick was noted as stepping out every so often and coming back and then being all jittery. So they were implying that he went and took cocaine. So what's been most amusing about following this case is how Nick Rekieta continuously makes things worse for himself by refusing to accept responsibility. A lot of this would just stop for him, at least in the public sphere. A lot of the people who are mocking him and his current situation. A lot of it would end if he just left. This level of public humiliation can't just be undone. It's a game over situation. Yeah, right, magical Coke. And the whole situation sort of speaks for itself. Like, you can see what it's like following the case and come to your own conclusions. You don't need to have a court come out, like a police officer read, this is what the truth is, damn it. And that's why Nick's really pissed off. He's unable to control the narrative, and he's unable to portray himself as the man that he used to portray himself as, now that the mask has been completely ripped off. Now he's Baldo, a man who, well, excuse me, man in a very loose sense. He's the human being who has a wife known as our wife, Kayla, spelled Q-U. And she's, as far as in Minecraft, forgot about that one, eh? She's just taking dick. And the amount of content from this Nick Rekieta stuff, if you haven't been following it, there are several channels that cover each update on it. Like, you have Kino Casino, Mad at the Internet. I've seen Red Bar starting to follow it. Well, I think Red Bar was following it because of their association with Steel Toe Morning Show, who I'm only familiar with because they're the other half of the cover, the polycule that Rekieta was involved in. Now, I've kind of hate's a strong word. I've disliked this smug prick for years. So watching his fall from grace, or his self-immolation, his self-immolation has been beautiful. Especially because a lot of this isn't a matter of having misfortune upon them. For a lot of people, even if something bad happens, or if something bad happens to them, even if you don't like them, you look and that sucks, dude. I can't help but feel bad. Misfortune, it's out of your control, so you can't help but go, that sucks. Well, yeah, I hope you're able to bounce back. That way I can rip on you later and not feel too bad. But not so much. There's not going to be a bounce back from this man. Enough. But it's going to be very amusing watching him try. The more he struggles, the more he gets sucked back in. Old school A-logging. Yeah, I have one of the video I made. It was I came across it the other day, where it's like, I'm a YouTube lawyer, vote for me. or something along the vote for me. Call into my law firm and I'll cover your case. I'll read your super chat out to my fans. Something like that. Seeing the potato chip bite. He just finally knew, the blood is in the water. Alright. So I think we got, another 45 minutes. Damn, I'm gonna have to be done by then. Shit. I wanted to watch some of this live stream, but I have things I gotta do. See, I thought it was live already, but oh well, maybe something to cover tomorrow night if I end up streaming. Let's go back to the Rekieta Twitter exchanges. Yeah, well done, Nick, in this one right here. The thing is, you're missing that the lawyer representing me at the hearing is a walking malpractice factory. Why do you think the county loves having her appointed in virtually every child protection case? Must be a grand conspiracy. Nice to have that broadcast out there, Nick, on your Twitter. Well done. Holy fuck, can someone not hire someone expecting one thing and get another? Don't be this stupid. And no, I didn't. She was appointed counsel. Didn't you hire her? No. That's nice of you to talk shit about your own lawyer, Baldo. Based on on what transpired these last few days, it seems like she has a far better track record as an attorney than you. When was the last time you won a case? I fired her in June, idiot. I avoided the question. You avoided. When was the last time you won a case? I have no opinion on that. Oh yeah, the other thing that makes Nick Rekieta a fun person to those who are uninitiated. He would do things that would just, by things I mean, he would do an anime stream where he dresses up in skimpy feminine clothing and dance around for super chats. He got catfished. Shit. There's so many. The hot tub stream. He used to pour out liquor and then lick the bottle. So there's so many. There's so much shit to explain. There's a ton of lore I could get into, but I think that's a good jumping off point. Good to see you, Adept Potentia. I'm rocking in California, bro. Just dodging fires like crazy. Let's see what we have here. Right, just like you were totally fine with the body cam footage coming out until it became obvious that you were the one holding up its release. I never said I was fine with it coming out. Like you could just put it was fine. I never said it was fine coming out. If you just had backbone, Nick, you could just come out and say, I think it would be revealing to people that I don't trust, and I think it would be what's the word of saying? It could only be poorly for me. There's nothing I have to gain from this, and on top of that, it's invading my family's privacy. No. I'm going to do everything I can to get this thing fought, not just out of spite, but because I believe it's what's right. Just say that. Nick has me blocked in his chat now. He's resorted to an echo chamber. Yeah, I might have been trolling him a little bit. I don't know if anyone could even see me, but some of his chatters were pretty, what's the word? Sensitive. Like, there was one part where I was ripping on him. I think I said the exact thing. Like, how do you have 2 girlfriends and still come off so effeminate? It's crazy, bro. And someone came at me with, like, he could get 2 girlfriends, okay? it was great. I just fuck with people in chat in Nick's echo chambers was a lot of fun. So I hope I'm still not blocked. We'll see. You can always just make a new account. Here we go. Funny you should mention that. They were right. I don't want to read that asshole's tweet. Whose report shall we believe? We shall believe the report of the Lord. If only you could read it. I don't even care what the fuck that means. Here we got a banger right here. They just passed Jack Murphy around like he's a joint. I don't doubt it. Heartfelt. And you don't understand the rules of evidence. If you think the hair follicle test, the objection you shouted, was being introduced as evidence, it was not, and your objection was untimely and overruled. Nothing to do with completeness, moron. I didn't say it had anything to do with completeness, champ. I was pointing out that the attorney literally didn't know the rules of evidence. She also doesn't know con law, criminal law, or juvenile protection law, as it happens. Hiring Mr. White moved the case more in one day than it did in a month. Each single piece of advice she gave was wrong, delayed, and complicated the case. Literally, everything she said was wrong. And if you morons actually read her performances in those scripts or transcripts with a shred of integrity, you'll see how absolute shit she was. The kid's lawyer was by far the best lawyer in the courtroom. He was steadfastly terrific from start to finish. Someone says, you've been doing that for years. Yes, excuse me. Yes, that's the thing. I always presented it in a way and simply said I could help translate shit for people who didn't burn years in 6 figures on a legal education. I never sold myself otherwise. When the hedonism shit, or the hedonism 2 shit came out, Nick, did you care that that was coming out to change your public image? You cared enough to run to your shower so you could text or phone call Josh. I can't remember which one it was. 2 hours. I just want you to know, as my friend, that she's not getting blacked. I'm not doing rails of cocaine all over the place. For someone who is criticizing someone else for their opinions on a jurisdiction they don't practice in, you sure did a lot of that with Mark Richards. Though I will acknowledge that you did apologize for that later. However, you still regularly did it in other cases too, if I recall correctly. Yeah, that's the point. I always self-deprecated on my legal expertise. Okay. And then we got this last one here. Can we quit making fat jokes about Sean? It's pretty hack at this point. We get it. I'd suggest a banger weight loss program for him. That's what he always has underneath his sleeve. Past the Baldo is a fat joke. Fat. Fat. Fat jokes can be funny. Put some tuba music behind him as he says something stupid. That's funny. That's pure comedy. The internet drama is getting too cartoonish lately for me. It's just blatant at this point. Some of it is, in my opinion, like, some of it's completely fake and gay. I would say WWE, but minus the Keno. Like, there are some... I don't want to name anyone in particular because that would get into a whole thing. I don't have anything to suggest that this is the case. This is just what my intuition tells me. But there are a lot of more popular live streams that are coming out that it just seems obviously fake as fuck. He was dieting. See, I hear just Rekieta's voice whenever it's supposed to be him typing. I can hear that in that voice in my head. All snobby and like Valley Girl-like. And that alcohol really fucked his ass up. And the cocaine. And from what, what's his name? Aaron Imholt. He was claiming that Kayla is what's the word I'm looking for? She's addicted to benzos, which is, from what I was reading, one of the more difficult things to kick. And a lot of people who mix that and alcohol, it doesn't mix really well because it depresses the central nervous system. Sometimes just causing people to be so relaxed that they stop breathing and die, pass out. Yeah, I would agree. Alcohol, when abused, is the worst drug out there. I mean, it can be. There are some wacky fucking drugs out there, though, man. So yeah, we got a Rekieta stream in about 30 minutes, man. Thing is, my woman's gonna be here though in like 20 minutes, so I'm probably going to be wrapping up here shortly. We do have other stories, a couple of like short news stories that I grabbed earlier. Bring those up. Yeah, the respiratory problems, for sure. And the real crime with Rekieta is how fucking boring he is. Like, even when you're onto something that's interesting, when the story's interesting, the situation grabs your interest, and then you tune in and you have to go at like 2 times speed because he's literally putting you to sleep with his voice. Yeah, you haven't been missing out, bro, I'll tell you that. Nick Rekieta told me it's legal to piss on Susan's grave. I forgot about that too, man. A rough time to be that family. I know the current trend would be to just piss all over that person, just have a bunch to say about Susan. I can't help but, in the back of my head, feel about all of the people whose lives were affected in a negative way because of all of the authoritarian policies that were brought in, and all of the way that independent content creators were completely fucked around. You can't throw that at her feet, I guess. It was the whole company. I'm sure who knows. In this situation, from a perspective, there's a part of me that says, well, our adversaries keep us strong and at our best. So, the whole, I'll still respect the person that has brought a lot of misery and done a lot of shit to a lot of people. But it's hard to feel that way. I do feel for the family, and I think it was their 19-year-old son, or her 19-year-old son also died earlier this year. The bitch took 5 accounts from me. Well, she's down there sipping on margaritas with Coach Red Pill now, man. I can just hear in the back of my head, "Hey, Susan." The coach laughter. He's going to sit down, and then he goes, chapter 1. He starts reading her Wilshire Boulevard. And that's the hell Susan lives. New Zealand charity unknowingly gives out sweets with lethal amounts of meth. Up to 400 people received parcels that could contain contaminated lolly as police open a criminal investigation. A charity working with homeless people in Auckland, New Zealand, unknowingly distributed sweets filled with a potentially lethal dose of methamphetamine in its food parcels after the items were donated by a member of the public. Auckland City Mission told reporters on Wednesday that staff had started to contact up to 400 people to track down parcels that could contain the sweets, which were sold solid blocks of methamphetamine enclosed in lolly wrappers. New Zealand's police had opened a criminal investigation. And that person was having a bad day. Oh, fuck, I put the fucking candy in the... Oh, dude, that was not for you guys. Oh, yeah, right, Chef Red Pill. He was cooking up a nice Kino meal for the both of them, I'm sure. Man, there was a moment of silence for those who've been taken from us. The amount of methamphetamine in each sweet was up to 300 times the level someone would usually take, and could be lethal, according to New Zealand Drug Foundation, a drug checking and police organization which first tested the lollies. It's strange to me seeing that, not just saying candies. It keeps calling it lollies. It's like, stop. It's fucking with my brain. So Halloween's coming soon, chat. Be careful. Women are like dogs. There you go. I got you, buddy. A Burlington man allegedly shot father after argument over stinky feet. What his father didn't know is that he was just operating an OnlyFans account and he had a request. A Burlington man is accused of shooting his father in the face after an argument about stinky feet. According to an arrest affidavit, David Carpenter, 48, called the police late Sunday night and said he shot his father. When Burlington police officers arrived at the house, they took Carpenter into custody in the front yard. Officers then found Carpenter's father inside the home with a gunshot wound to his face. Carpenter's father was taken to a hospital. The injury was not considered life-threatening. According to the arrest affidavit at the hospital, the father told police that he were arguing about David's stinky feet before the shooting. During an interview, Carpenter told detectives he was in the living room with his father, who was in a motorized scooter, when his father said Carpenter's feet stank. He claimed there was a heated argument between the two of them over family issues, and after his father made a comment about shooting him, Carpenter then walked back to his bedroom and grabbed his gun. And when he returned, he had the gun behind his back while yelling at his father about guns. He then pointed at his father's face, accidentally pulling the trigger. So bad trigger discipline is to blame, apparently. He was charged with... There he is. That's exactly what I thought he'd look like. In my head, that's the image of the person I had. Fucking nailed it, huh? He was charged with attempted murder, a Class B felony, and child endangerment, and an aggravated misdemeanor. Police said 2 children younger than 14 were in the home. A preliminary hearing was scheduled for August 21st. His bond is set at $100,000 cash only. Some problems sort themselves out, I guess. Let's continue. I don't know, that's the only tasteless thing I could think of to say. Couple charges wedding guests $333 each in an effort to save money. New York. Oh. Oh, really? I wonder what... I'm gonna look through. What are their last names? Quist. I've never seen that surname before. For many couples, their big day requires a big budget. On average, weddings now cost couples tens of thousands of dollars. The biggest price tag is typically the venue, and that accounts for about 30% of the total cost, according to the Knot deputy editor Esther Lee. To cut down on spending, newlyweds Nova and Remo Styles. Okay, so that's their surname. Nova. His first... Who are these human beings? Nova and Remo? That sounds like the name of a dude who would, sell drugs. They both have a name of somebody who would sell drugs. They got creative, thinking of their nuptials like a concert and charging guests to attend their celebration. And I said, people choose to go to a Beyonce concert because they know that they're going to have an experience. Let's put the stress on the guests, and let's sell tickets for a wedding. I mean, that's some good hustle. You really do have to respect the hustle. Let's see. It says New York. So, they're American, evidently. So, before Rekieta announces that he's going to be living on a boat in Florida. Florida boaters keep finding cocaine in the water. The total is now over $1.5 million worth. Oh yeah, it's good that they blurred out the logo on the brick of cocaine. That's a nice courtesy there from the police department. Florida boaters have found more cocaine in the Gulf of Mexico after recent storms, this time worth more than $500,000. On Monday, boaters came across a microwave-sized package covered in barnacles off of Panther Key near Port of the Islands. I don't know, maybe... Seems strange. Like, and they called the police? Says he wouldn't destroy it. The boaters turned the package over to authorities, who said it contained 56 pounds of cocaine. Holy shit. Worth $625,000 US. They said they believe the package found stuck in mangroves had been blown in by recent Hurricane Debbie. This comes a little over a week after a Good Samaritan turned in $1 million worth of cocaine on a Florida beach in the wake of the storm. The Collier County Sheriff's Office posted on its Facebook page that they appreciate the help of Good Samaritans are investigating the new package found. I'm sure they do appreciate it. Does this look like a guy who doesn't do cocaine? Like, think of all the free fucking coke he just got. I just have a feeling that he's gonna retire soon, open up his new business. It's in the water. I bet the cartels would pay a finder's fee. I don't think most people would even want to deal with them. The cartels. Yeah, I'm good. I don't want to get involved. Maybe they saw No Country for Old Men. I don't know, chat. Come on, Nick. 18 minutes? Oh, I really gotta be wrapping it up, I think. Alright, you guys. Where are we at? 2 hours in? What should we end with? I'm gonna end with this. Make sure the volume isn't too high.
So what do you say to somebody you hate? What? Or anyone trying to bring trouble your way? Want to resolve things in a bloodier way? Yeah, just studied a tape with NWA one day. I was walking by with a Walkman on. When I caught a guy, gave me an awkward eye. Shoot looking at, and strangled him up in the parking lot with his Carl County ad. I don't give a fuck if it's dark or not. I'm harder than me trying to park a Dodge when I'm drunk as fuck right next to a humongous truck in a 2-car garage, hopping out with 2 broken legs. Trying to walk it off. Fuck you too, bitch. Call the cops.
Fuck you too, bitch. Call the cops. I don't give a fuck. You gotta love the Ralph Mail. Alright, guys. Do I still have a Discord? Yeah. But I'd have to... You'd give me just a second. I don't have access to it on my PC, and then I turned off notifications. So it's one of those things I just see sometimes. I log in every so often. Alright, there's a link to the Discord if you would so like. That is strange, right? But yeah, I'll call it there. So have a good night, everybody. Remember, be yourself, because you might find yourself by yourself, and anybody can learn from their own mistakes. But it takes a wise guy like yourself to learn from the mistakes made by others. Quick reminder, persistence always overcomes resistance. Peace out, everybody. I might be here tomorrow at the 12:30 normal time, depending on if I have anything to watch. Maybe we'll just watch the Rekieta video there. Juice.